We had last week we had Victoria Bogner on talking about a client story, and I think she did a good job. Anyway, afterwards we were chatting with her, and we were talking about this article that she had written on AI and financial planning, and thought, why don't we get her back on to talk about that?
And part of the reason, Scott, is because in our industry periodicals, the things, at least once a week, you see a software company coming up with how they're now using in the financial plan AI to change the industry. And it certainly is adding productivity capabilities.
The question is it going to replace? That's how our industry looks at it. And then how much is AI going to be helpful to all of us?
That's at the
and
end
the
of
clients at the end of the day. So, Victoria Bogner, thank you for taking some time to be with us.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back.
Cool. So what is this article you wrote?
Yeah, so the article that I wrote, and you can find it on our website, I called it Why a Real Financial Advisor Matters in an AI World.
And did you use AI to write this article?
This is how I do it. I'm going to be totally honest.
Pause.
How I do it is
it took her 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And now she's reading the talking points that it gave her.
Yeah.
Please provide the talking points if I'm going to be interviewed on this article. No,
Right.
Go ahead.
Please tell me why AI, that you don't matter. Yeah. Well, what I do is I stream of consciousness, just type. I write out everything that's in my head, and then I ask ChatGPT to organize it for me, right? Like, help me put this in a framework that people are going to understand.
So you'll make like 50 bullet points?
Well, so I do two ways. First, I type, and a lot of times these things come to me at 2 a.m. It's just how I operate. And then also there's a voice feature, right, on like ChatGPT where you can talk and it'll transpose for you. So I do both of those things, and then I bring it all together and ask ChatGPT to just organize it for me and put it in an article, and then I edit it from there.
All right, and
that's my process.
Just to let everyone know what the base is, you have an education. You have degrees in what?
Oh, sure. Well, I'm a certified financial planner, a chartered financial analyst, an accredited investment fiduciary. My background is in mathematics and computer science. It's what I studied in college. So this is very fascinating to me. I've done a lot of research on AI, not just in our particular industry, but in general. So I felt compelled to write this because while it is my opinion, I feel it is an informed opinion.
Yes, and you have more initials behind your name than I have in my name. So, so tell us about the article.
Yeah, okay. So what I wanted to write about is how AI can be helpful in many ways, but there are things that AI, in my opinion, will never be able to do. And I think that we lose sight of that because all we hear about is how AI is just going to take over the world and humans aren't going to have anything left to do.
It's really strange. It's both an exciting time and a scary time.
Yeah, it really is because there's so much uncertainty around it. And it really is a revolutionary time. And to an extent, humanity is going to have to decide what we're going to allow and what we aren't, which is also scary. But getting into this particular article, I wrote it with the focus on the financial planning profession specifically. And so what I want clients to really hear is that, yes, AI is an amazing tool, and you might be tempted to say, hey, AI, how about you just be my financial planner for me? Why do I need to pay a human being to do this for me when I have AI? That can be really tempting. But there are so many things that AI just can't do. And what we also know about AI, and I apologize if I'm getting a little in the weeds, but AI tends to be pretty sycophantic, which means that it agrees with you. So if you tell AI, I really want to retire at the age of, 40, then it's going to say, yeah, that sounds like a great goal. AI is not the type of tool that's going to challenge you or your assumptions. Something else is that AI doesn't truly know your full picture, right? It's only so good at giving you an output based on the inputs you give it. And a lot of people that we talk with, they give us what they think is important, but then a good financial advisor will go beyond
out.
that.
And actually,
say,
people who listen to
well,
this program, they hear that just in the questions we ask the callers.
You know what's interesting? So I think about this is oftentimes a question when people say my risk tolerance is pretty high. And then our second,
what does that mean?
Our question is, well, what did you do in these time periods? And we asked them how they reacted to previous market situations. I don't believe AI would ever ask that question. Like if you say, I'm a great athlete, and they don't say, well, how many hours a day do you train? AI is not making those value judgments, right? They're just going along because it's a sycophant. They're just going along with whatever you tell them. They're not saying.
There was a gal who, I think, writing for the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, which one, who ran the Boston, New York Marathon, and 100% of her training was AI. 100%. And it was way off.
Was he?
Yeah,
Wow.
way off. Anyway, she's decided as a test, I'm going to follow the 100%, my training, my diet, everything. And the prediction for her was so far off from what she actually did.
Donald Trump beat her.
Yeah, that's and that is
The
so
Boston
true.
Marathon.
A block, maybe.
New York Marathon?
Yeah.
I can't
No,
see.
just stop. No political. Okay, I'm sorry. I couldn't help
I'm
myself.
just trying to picture Donald Trump running a marathon.
He's got the bib on.
You know,
The number in the
AI
back.
can generate that picture for you.
Okay, so keep going.
Okay, so that's absolutely right. AI isn't going to challenge you when you say, I have a high risk tolerance, or I can work within a budget of X amount per month, right? And AI is not going to challenge you on that. And that's one of the key aspects of having an advisor, that they can actually, look beyond the words you're saying into your actual behavior and say, well, let's actually analyze this. Let's dig deeper into this to actually figure out what the answers to these questions are.
But we shouldn't. But Vicki, we shouldn't ignore the fact that AI, like we use AI. We have to use closed circuit AI basically because
We don't want
it's
trade secrets out.
we don't want any of it out there. But AI, in terms of just doing analysis, well, actually, I believe that it will lead to better outcomes with a good advisor using AI
For sure.
than
Yes,
not.
It's a both and, right? So you can use AI almost like a paraplanner. So it will give you give input, it will give output, right? We know that about AI. But what AI cannot do is then make judgment calls. It can't make a decision for you. It can't understand trade-offs. So if you have, and we know financial planning is very nuanced. It's not a black and white, do this and this will happen, or if this is your circumstance, this is the right answer. It's very nuanced with judgment calls and give and take. And AI can't understand that nuance. It will give you the answer, but it won't tell you actually, it probably will tell you this is exactly what you should do, whether that's right or wrong. And we also know AI has very high conviction, whether it's right or wrong. But that's the other problem.
But might this change in the future?
In my opinion, here is something that I don't think will ever change. And I could be wrong. Maybe AI will become sentient someday. But AI does not care about you, right? AI doesn't care about anything. You can't have a relationship with AI. It does not have
People
feelings.
try. Yeah.
People try. It can
little
emulate
weird.
those things.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. We know that has actually really horrible consequences, unfortunately. But it can't navigate competing obligations. It can't figure out living with trade-offs because AI doesn't live with consequences, and AI can't be held accountable, right? Accountability is structural to human systems, and AI can't be accountable. Someone has to be responsible.
Just slow down. That was profound, right? Accountability is structural to what?
To human systems. You must have accountability.
That actually sounded both very super emotional at the same time calculated.
Well, it's interesting. So I've said that because as a founder of a wealth management and financial planning firm, as you think about what's this going to do to our future,
Mm-hmm.
and I think the tools are going to make it so that the advisors can show outcomes, scenarios extremely quickly, right? Tools are going to do all the planning and stuff. But every option we go down, there's certain costs to that. And it's that,
Right.
like, I think the point when I trust the machine more than I would, say, a marriage counselor, maybe that's the time when I'm going to trust the machine more. But my experience in 35 years as a financial advisor is the greatest value we add is keeping people from making mistakes from which they cannot recover. And it's being there in times of need. And the need is either some external force like major market meltdown, or more likely, something happens in the family. And I think back to this couple. I'm going to call them Bill and Stacy because I was thinking about this as you started talking. He became a client in 1992. So Pat and I were in business a very short period of time. Became a client. He was an avid cyclist, in great shape. And he came to us, might have been 71 at the time. Says, I have stage 4 lung cancer. I've got 3 months to live, or whatever it was. And it was the typical family where he took care of the investments, married to Stacy for 40 plus years or whatever, but she didn't pay any attention to it. And I remember sitting down with them and looking him in the eye and saying, Bill, I've got Stacy's back. I assure you that we will watch over her till her dying day. And that was the last conversation I had with him. And
Wow.
And it's funny, last week I just checked in with the advisor. I asking him about how's Stacy, what's the latest with Stacy? Because we're still
She's still.
we promised to
But
protect her.
AI is not going to do that. But AI is going to make businesses are more efficient, which can actually then lead to a lower pricing, which will then lead to more people actually using people like us.
Yes. And I think that if an advisor's primary role, if you're viewing an advisor as just somebody that constructs a portfolio, does some rebalancing, does some tax loss harvesting and surface level planning, AI can do that, right?
Actually, there's tools that already
financial
exist.
planning.
Yeah, tools already
Correct.
exist to do those things. Yeah.
Those tools already exist. But what I believe is going to be even more important and more valuable, not less, is that especially when you get to the higher net worth level, anything that involves judgment, and let's define judgment. Judgment is pattern recognition plus lived experience plus accountability. That's what judgment is. And the last two will never be software features. AI will never have lived experience plus accountability. So that means when anything comes down to human judgment, which is, strategic tax coordination, business transition planning, how do you deal with intergenerational issues with legacy planning?
How much do we give to the kids? What control do we have?
Yeah.
Let them have at
Right.
what ages?
And
what protections do we do for future spouses?
Not only that is, do I give to the kids in different methods just because of the personality of the kids?
Right. So something that I've started to frame in my mind is decision architecture. I don't know, maybe I should trademark that, but the role of the advisor actually expands as complexity increases. And we know that complexity is not shrinking, right? So the bottom line is that if AI ever eliminates human financial advisors, it'll be because clients no longer value human accountability and relational trust. And I find that a very difficult future to comprehend. I think that clients will always value human accountability and relational trust.
Well, I've got to, on that, Vicki, we will always value you being on the program. I after listening to you, I think you should be actually speaking at industry conferences. I think that you should stand up in a front of groups of financial advisors and remind them of what they do and why they do it.
It's a very high calling, and it's more important now than ever.
Yeah, it's
I agree with you on that.
yeah. So anyway,
Thank you,
appreciate you
Vicki.
being on the show. And we will
Happy to do it.
talk soon.
Yeah. See ya.